Okay, today we're going to go through the assembly process of the Solo 451 mist blower. This is a brand new machine, right out of the box. You see you have a parts bag that's included with a few nozzle caps, a couple of hoses, a combo tool, and some screens, as well as an assortment of different types of tubing here. So we're going to go ahead and get this set up on the bench, and we'll begin the assembly process. Okay, now that we have the machine all broken down out of the box, we have everything separated and laid out here on the table. We'll go through the components that are included with the machine. As you can see, we have a couple different types of hoses here. We have an elbow, a flex hose, and a longer blower tube here. You'll have two different pieces of solution tubing, this clear tubing here. A combo tool, which is included with one end that's a Torx T25, the other 19 millimeter for a spark plug socket. Have two clamps, one for the smaller tubing and one for the large flex hose. And then an assortment of different types of nozzles and a nozzle assembly that goes on the very end of the tube. So we'll go ahead and start putting that together now. We're going to use the tool that's included. We're going to back out this screw here completely and remove it. You want to be careful. There is a nut here on the back side, so make sure that stays in place. Then the elbow, we'll go ahead and install that right into this housing. Reinsert the screw. And just tighten it down securely. Next step would be our flex hose. We'll use our larger clamp. You'll notice that one side has a retainer here for the hoses. You want that to go to the inside of the machine, like this.
Do that again.
Go ahead and install the tube to the elbow. Then the clamp, we're going to make sure this is to the inside. Stretch that out. Set it in place. And then we'll use a larger screw like this to insert into the clamp to tighten it down. We'll turn the machine up on the side for now. Insert our screw and tighten it down. Okay, we're now ready to install our trigger assembly. You'll notice on the long blower tube you have a groove here. So when you install the trigger assembly, you'll remove the two screws so that you can slide it over, and that'll meet up just like that on here. Okay, now we're going to install our trigger assembly onto our blower tube. We've removed the two small screws in the end, they're right here. And what we'll do is actually slide the tube into the assembly, spread it apart a little bit, and this is adjustable depending on the length of the operator's arms. You can adjust it to better custom suit the needs. So now we're going to put it about midway. We're going to reinsert the screws and we'll tighten those securely down. And once again, these don't have to be over tightened, just snugged in is all you want to do. This is plastic, and if it's over torqued, it will strip the plastic. Okay, so now it should look like this. Now we'll use our smaller clamp to install to our flex tube. You want the threaded portion here pointing outward away from the operator. Okay, so now we have our small clamp mounted. We'll go ahead and just tighten it down just a little bit to keep it in place. Then we'll insert our longer blower tube into the flex hose, just like this. You want to move your clamp down to the end, and then we can securely tighten it up. Included in the package, you'll have this little green rubber insert that just simply installs right over the exposed threads on that clamp to protect anything from getting scratched. So now that we have our tubes installed along with our trigger, we'll go ahead and install our nozzle assembly, this red piece here. To do that, just make sure the screws slightly loosened just a tad. Insert it to the end of the blower tubes, push it securely on, and then tighten the screw. Solo includes a variety of different nozzles. This is preference. You have one that directs the spray to right to left directions. One that's just an angled nozzle that can be turned to do upward, a right or a left or downward application. And then we have a wide angle diffuser which spreads the mist as it goes out. That's the smaller one here. We'll install the wide angle. Simply pushes on. You'll notice this has a rib here on this nozzle. It's important. You want to make sure you get it completely pushed over the rib to lock it into place. The final part of the assembly will be the solution hoses. You'll have two pre-cut hoses. The longer length of hose will attach from the solution tank to the valve. We have a smaller section that will run from the valve to the nozzle. Sometimes these hoses can be a little bit of a challenge to insert onto the outlets. If you do have trouble, we recommend just heating the hose a little bit with hot water. It makes it a lot easier to install it onto these pieces here, the valve assembly into the tank. We talked about this clamp with the retainer here, what we want to do with our throttle cable assembly and our solution hose. We want to insert those into that assembly there. Our main solution hose will install here to this tap, which is on-off control for the solution. So we're going to go ahead and finish the installation of the hose to the tap and then from the tap to the valve. Okay, now our assembly process is all completed. What we normally recommend is just to go back through all of the screws, just double check, make sure everything's securely tightened. Mainly the large clamp here, which holds this flex hose in place. We recommend actually to use a larger, like a T-handle type tool like this, just to get the extra torque on this clamp here, because this does take most of the air pressure. So you want to make sure that's securely tightened. We've mounted our solution hoses, our trigger. We'll go through a little bit of the adjustment of the straps. The straps are thick, wide padded straps, and they have an adjustment here as well as the bottom to adjust to each operator's size. Once you put the machine on your back over your shoulders, you'll simply insert your thumbs into these loops here, and you can pull it down to custom adjust it to your particular size. The machine is now ready for operation. We just need to add some fuel. Solo recommends the use of a premium fuel in this machine, 91 or better octane rated, mixed 50 to 1. One of these small 2.6 ounce bottles with 1 gallon of fuel is the correct mixture. So we're going to go ahead and add some fuel, and we'll go through the startup process.